Are we live? And it's the Vintage Crushers versus the Petaluma Trojans, a key VVAL matchup right here on Trojan Live. And a good evening, everyone. I am Griffin Epstein here joining you live from Steve Ellison Field for a exuberant atmosphere for this vital Vine Valley Athletic League matchup. Vintage Crushers, they come in as the league favorites to this brand new league, and they proved it that they are worthy of being the favorites in what's so far been a crazy league, demolishing Casa Grande in a shutout last weekend. Meanwhile, for the Petaluma Trojans, 4-2, it's been a very successful season for them, and after their big victory over Justin Siena, a very gutsy victory last weekend, there is a lot of hope in this Petaluma crowd tonight that they could do something special, and that starts with a victory here tonight against Vintage. The winner of this game could be the VVAL league pennant holder at the end of the year. For the Vintage Crushers, it all runs through Vlami Shumakal. He is their star running back. He was the All-Monticello League Player of the Year last year as a junior, and he is just electric. You're going to see him all over the field tonight. He's getting recruited by Oregon State, Fresno State, and San Jose State. He has just been remarkable, and he's going to be so hard for the defensive line to stop, but we'll see. A very improved Petaluma defensive line did a really good job against American Canyon 2 weeks ago with their star running back, Eddie Birdsong, so that'll be interesting. It could be which star is better as well. Garrett Freitas, what a game for Petaluma last week against Justin Siena, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he led a Trojan offense that was very, very good last week to a 31-28 victory in a hostile atmosphere against a very experienced Justin Siena squad. Very impressive victory. Let's head on to the field as we have a student section making their way in. The theme is camo tonight. We're getting ready for the national anthem. The band is here, the cheerleaders as well. It should be a lot of fun, and there's been a lot of hype this whole week about this one. We will have Christian Abramo joining me in a little bit, so it won't just be me here alone. But Vintage coming in high spirits, but so's Petaluma. Both teams knowing how important this one is to going a long way towards deciding this league title. Head coach Dill Leach has built a powerhouse for the Crushers. They're coming off a second-place finish last year in a very good Monticello League, and they played very well against Indercom of Sacramento in the San Joaquin section first round in Division I. Yes, Vintage is a Division I school, and they were right with that powerhouse from Sacramento that this year is now one of the top teams in the whole state. So yeah, Petaluma's going to be tested. They have not seen a team this good so far this year, and they're gonna have to play their best for the majority of the game. There's no doubt about that, but the way Freitas is playing right now, he has the capabilities coming in, 625 yards on the season on 56 carries. And, I mean, he might be better than Vlami Shumakal. We'll see, We'll see who is the better player tonight, but Shumakal, 346 rushing yards coming into this year. He had 104 yards and a touchdown against Casa last week. He was even crowned homecoming king. It's a disciplined option team, very similar to Petaluma, kind of mirror images to each other in a lot of ways. We are going to see the Trojans run out onto the field. I would hope that Simone would pan over and get that. Can we try to get that? Can we try to get Simone panning over to get the team, which is going to run out with the cheerleaders surrounding him? The clock has struck 0. Ready to go? Oh, it is. Terrific. So you're going to see the team run out, going to get some music quelled up. It's a fun entrance to this one. Appreciate everyone live on this beautiful Friday night. It's a cool and crisp late September evening. Vintage played a very challenging pre-league schedule as well. They went 2-2, but they lost their first 2 games to Wood and Acalanes, and that's kind of an interesting pinpoint. Trojans played Acalanes last year in the first round of NCS, and were competitive in that game. The final score looks lopsided, but it fell apart in the fourth quarter. The Trojans were right there for most of the game at the Dawn Stadium and played well in that one. But now a 3-game winning streak for Vintage, coming off the non-conference victories against Lincoln, a good Bellarmine College prep team, and the victory against Casa Grande, 44-0, all over the Gauchos, as we mentioned. Petaluma started VVAL pretty disastrously with the loss to American Canyon, but it was really turnovers that hurt them in that one. Really the end of that second half, they giving up 28 points in 3 minutes. Petaluma Trojans making their way out. Here's your varsity football team for Petaluma. Those are the captains making their way out. And you get the rest of the team coming out in just a minute. Coach Chris giving them extra time. He knows the importance of this game here tonight. Here they come. We'll let you listen into the sights and sounds. There is the entire roster. Student section had a tailgate before the game. Link crew helping run that. And a great entrance with the cheerleaders for this big one. 3 weeks since Petaluma has been here. It's been some time since they've been at home with the back-to-back road games to start VVAL. It's good to be at home. Petaluma has not lost a home game in over 2 years. The last home game lost to Annalee early September in the SCL opener back in 2016. They've been dominant here at Steve Ellison Field. They're going to be hard to be beat, and Vintage is going to have to play a complete game. Mentioned Freitas and Schumacher in the open, but there are plenty of other talented players. Trojans are going to need Colton Prieto to have a big game, but it might come down to the lines on both sides. Especially teams that run option offenses. They're physical teams. Both teams with big O-lines. They match up pretty evenly. Vintage slightly bigger. Vintage does have a deeper roster due to being a D1 school. They're about 500 students bigger than Petaluma High, Vintage High out of Napa. But overall, the lines could be the difference. Both teams are experienced. Both teams have improved on the line. That was an issue, I think, certainly for Petaluma. Defensive line in the loss to Santa Rosa. They did not look good, even in the victory against Montgomery. Cody Camaro, Petaluma High freshman, is going to sing the national anthem. We'll let you listen in. What? No, put it on your head. What a rendition of the national anthem. Cody Camaro. Hadn't heard him before. That was impressive, Christian.
Yeah.
Christian Abramo, JV football player, joins me alongside. He'll be providing plenty of the analysis tonight. This has been an anticipated game, Christian. There's a lot on the line for both teams.
This is what Coach Chris is calling this the championship game, and he's calling everyone here on out that, as you heard from the announcements that ran today. If anyone else watches this or it's seen on like Trojan Live, you know, it's on Monday. On Monday, you know. This is my water, right?
Yeah, Coach Chris called it the championship game after the Justin Siena game. He says every game forward as the championship game because Petaluma still wants to win the league title, and they can't do that probably without losing another game. Nonetheless,
Hey,
it does feel like the game against the undefeated league favorites in the Vintage Crushers. Feels like if the Trojans can win this game and get some help from Vintage beating American Canyon, they would win in a three-way tie for the VVAL title. We will see. Petaluma in purple, Vintage in white and maroon. Daxton Augia to boot it away for Petaluma. Both teams coming in with plenty of confidence. Once again, the Trojans 1-1 in VVAL, Vintage 1-0. They had a bye to start the league schedule 2 weeks ago, but they're on a winning streak, 3-game winning streak, excuse me. Stars are out tonight, Schumacher and Freitas. That's going to be the battle. Augia boots it away, and we're underway. This much anticipated game takes a hop at the 10, and a big hole up the middle.
Uh-oh.
It's Mauricio Castro, excuse me. Good tackle made at the 45.
Seems that Jacob Harvard made the tackle.
Connor Pedersen in on the tackle for Petaluma.
Never mind.
But an exceptional job by the special teams for Vintage, and that was a rude awakening for Petaluma on the speed and athleticism that Vintage offers. We mentioned Schumacher in the opening, but Mauricio Castro actually led the Crushers in rushing with 112 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Crushers.
Real quick, how loud is my mic?
Grande, so you got to watch him.
So anyway, it could be
Starting
louder.
quarterback Jacob Aaron for the Crushers, but they run the football and they run it some more. You're not going to see a lot of passing tonight. This rush off the right, the ball comes out and it rolls out of bounds. That's something to watch. Michael Weber on the doubt. Hey, you can turn off your mic. Oh, okay. So, no score, 11:43 to go, and Vintage picks up 7 on the first down carry. Trojan defensive line, led by Nick Sembita and Daniel DeCarli. They are going to be stiffly tested tonight by this plethora of running backs, and that's an exceptional job. Nowhere to go up the middle for the Crusher there. They are physical. They've gotten a lot better. Kenny Alexander's been a big part of that. Nick Sembita, 8 tackles coming into the season. Daniel DeCarli, 7 tackles, a fumble recovery. Sembita and DeCarli, 3-year varsity starters on that line, but Mariano Harbaminos had a big impact as well. Depth on Michael Pichardo changing the set last week. That was great this week. Up the middle, the Crushers moved the sticks here. Drew Hatfield, who had 85 yards receiving.
That better make Trojan Live Hall of Fame.
Aaron 16 for 37, 337 passing yards. They're not as one-sided as Petaluma passing the ball, but both teams establish the run game early and control that offensive line. And the lines are always, I think, the trenches are where games are won and lost, especially in high school football.
Yeah, and usually, you know, linemen are being a lineman in the trenches, most selfless position and also most entertaining position because you get to completely just pummel the quarterback or anyone with the ball if they come through your gap, you know, and you know, other than that, it's really fun, you know.
Weber in on the sweep again. We saw that on the first play of the game. It's successful again, picks up 8 yards. Weber characterizes the do-it-all versatile player of the Crushers, and so far he's looked just like that. Got some nice speed. 1,228 rushing yards coming in already for Vintage, and they've only played 5 games. They've a grinded-out football team. And interesting, we have not even seen Schumacher with a carry just yet. The star, future Division I college football player, is now lined up dotting the I, and there he is for the first time, and he welcomes Petaluma with a touchdown.
That is not good on their bit.
Oh, you saw Schumacher. They waited to keep him around, kept his legs fresh, and Schumacher goes up the middle for the touchdown, adding to his rushing total so far this year. He has been an absolute beast.
I got you, though. I got you. Only. You know it.
Fourth touchdown of the year. Adding on.
Turn the mic off real quick.
Rushing yards already. Just looking at the sideline, if they want one or two.
Oh man, got one.
They're going to go for it. This interesting formation here. The line roll to the right. The late toss to Schumacher. Trojans read it excellently. Gianni Johnson and Jack Hartman out on the tackle. Superb job by Petaluma. That's a very tricky play. You see the Steelers run that in the NFL. Oregon back on the Chip Kelly days like to run a very similar play. You can be confused there. Petaluma was not at all. Nice job by Gianni Johnson. The secondary stepping up. This is a tight game. That makes a big difference. Vintage strikes first and they make it look easy. 6-0 after 10-21. So Trojan offense will get the ball, and that means a look at Garrett Freitas. Won a game last week. 247 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. It was spectacular. And he just changes the entire Trojan offense. And Cole Powers had his best game last week, just with Freitas in there after against American Canyon. Cole Powers had his worst game, I would say. Ban reads the drum roll and Gonzalez for the Crushers to boot it away. They kick it away from Freitas. That's nice job. Hartman picks it up, finds a little seam down the sideline, and he's run out at the 24. But that is reading or watching some film and kicking it away from Freitas. That was clearly the intention of kicker Eddie Gonzalez, the senior there for the Crushers. You got to keep it away from Freitas, and you know the Crushers are going to key in on him. But can other Petaluma players step up when the Crushers are so focused on Freitas?
Oh, yeah.
That should be interesting. And Justin Siena could not do that last week, even when they tried to focus on Freitas. Powers was finding openings in the passing game. He had his best game rushing as well, going for 119 rushing yards.
They got their own TV down there?
They do. They are watching a film in front of us on a TV as they hand it up the middle. Some of the offensive players pointing out things with the coach. That's remarkable.
Yeah.
I guess they're getting the live feed from their camera or recording. I mean, it's like we got the NFL.
You know, a little bit disrespectful, but no, I'm kidding.
I mean, they have the money. This is a serious football team coming in.
Oh, yeah.
And Petaluma absolutely can compete with them. But we said they're going to have to play their best game, and you don't want to fall behind big early as they give up the early touchdown. But there's a reason Vintage comes in as the league favorite. Prieto had that
Flag, false start.
Flag, I can't talk. Had the run up the middle for a couple yards, and now a false start. That's what you can't do if you're Petaluma, and you can understand being a little bit nervous here tonight on how big this game is and how important and uncharacteristic. Petaluma's been good.
Our
penalty-wise, 49 penalties, 390 penalty yards.
Our coaches have been telling us that penalties are drive killers, and generally, when there's a false start, coaches know, and they usually pull out the person who does that. Give them a little beat down, you know?
No, I mean, it's not something you can afford. They were pretty good against Justin Siena last week. The last home game against El Molino, they were flag fest. They've been up and down, but mostly disciplined. Here's the toss to Freitas, and he did
down
not
he goes.
Get much of anything there. Actually goes backwards for a couple yards, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and long. Weber in on the tackle. We mentioned him offensively, but he also leads the team in tackles for the Crushers. So 3rd and long, and Cole Powers is going to be forced to pass. It's not what you want, but Powers did have a much better passing game. His best QBR out of all 5 games he's played against Justin Siena. Huge bounce back, and he credited a lot to having Freitas just back in there, and he worked so well with his star running back. Oh, conservative play call. Gave it to Freitas, who came around from the left side on the draw, and Vintage all over that. The O-line not looking good so far. Petaluma will punt the football
4th and 13
away. Going the wrong way. Nick Ayers on to punt. Not the start that you want to see for the Trojans offensively or defensively, but you have to
Did you see that?
keep your head in there.
Number 73 didn't get a high five. Only a high five off the field.
Ayers punted away for Petaluma.
Sorry.
And he did get a piece of it.
What a boot.
Nice job by Ayers to still get something
Yeah.
away. Now it's
Come on.
going the wrong way. Petaluma downs it. Plumtree at the 33, but not good blocking by Petaluma. Airs. Last time that happened, it was disaster. American Canyon returned it for a touchdown. Nice job by Kyle Dandini, who did get a finger on that to deflect the ball, and it severely limited the length of that punt. He still got it away, but now the Crushers get the ball at the 32. Excellent field position to continue working their offense under Jacob Aaron. He's only a sophomore, 5'11", 180, but he is looking good so far.
Ooh, wide
pass is bobbled. There is a flag here. Could be holding, but could be a push-off as well. Catch made by Camus Barrett, senior wide receiver, with a pickup of 7. But a legal lineman downfield. You always got to watch that. So Vintage will back up 5 yards and redo it again from the 37. Force the other team to make mistakes as well. Trojan defense has been excellent, forcing turnovers, 4 interceptions, 6 fumble recoveries. First time against last week against a very disciplined Justin Siena team that they did not force any turnovers, but they've been excellent interception-wise all over the field. Aaron again in the gun. They're trying to air it out a little bit. Hope to open up the run game, I would presume. Over the middle. Catch is made. Nice job by Comey quickly in on the tackle. But it's Mauricio Castro with the crossing route pass and 7-yard pickup. It brings up a second and about 8. His mic is off,
And I am back after getting a phone call from my mother. I am very scared.
It is Aaron again. Aaron is firing some bullets in there, and he's had time so far.
Hopefully she does not watch the live stream and see my sweatshirt is not on. My mom.
Pressure in on Nur, only a sophomore quarterback, but a defensive line that's caused some chaos for teams, including last week for a good Justin Siena quarterback. So far unable to, and a lot of these quick passing routes are not letting the defenders even get there. Michael Weber, which is across the middle. There's a whole
real scary
now with the linebacker.
Yeah, but she can tell if I don't have a sweatshirt.
Quarterbacks played mostly well. I mean, the stats don't look great last week, but it was Donahoe, quarterback.
Sure, yeah.
Had so much time. Another completed pass down to the 1. Good job, Trojan gang tackle, but there are just open receivers everywhere right now, and that's going to be a first down. And just slowly chipping away here with these short passes for 5-10 yards. It's deflating for a defense. Petaluma hands on their hips, looking tired. Aaron looks accurate as can be. So far, not an incomplete pass. And Vintage cruising down the field, and obviously the field position not helping as well. I mean, you have to play disciplined, not perfect football, but you cannot make self-inflicted wounds if you're the Trojans based on the size, the talent, and the qualities of these two teams. Schumacher, touchdown, Crushers.
Oh, he's up in the stands, isn't he?
So 12-0 as Vintage goes right down the field and scores again on the short field after the deflected punt. It wasn't easy that time, but so far, Vintage is imposing their will on the line, and it's been very easy for quarterback Jacob Aaron. I mentioned coming in 336 passing yards, but only a 432 completion percentage. He hasn't been that accurate as the extra points booted through to make it 13-0, but he looks very accurate and in rhythm so far tonight. So 13-0, 6:02 remaining.
Right. I'm done. I'm just
6:02 remaining in the first, and Petaluma needs their offense to get going. You can't get this too far out of hand early in this game.
Be right back. One more time.
Team has been preparing all week for this, for the purple and white, but they don't look ready right now, I would say, on these first 2 drives. And there's a lot of pressure coming out against a really good football team. That's going to go a long way towards deciding the league pennant. But Vintage is treating this as an every ordinary game based on their season, taking it one day at a time. They're energized after the Casa victory with the shutout. They got an extra cookie on Victory Monday. I guess they hand out cookies to the whole team after their Monday games. It's just another benefit to their powerhouse program besides watching the film on TV after the drive. But 2 cookies after the shutout victory against Koss. So they were pretty happy with the effort. This ball does bounce to Freitas, and he takes it. That was going to go into the end zone, and that's why you can't be happy with that decision. He only gets to the 15. Not a good decision by Garrett Freitas, your star running back, who's so far been totally neutralized. 5:58 remaining in the first quarter. Bad field position as well. Can't let those little things go wrong. Let's see what Cole Powers in the offense can do. You got to stay poised and just play some ball down. Vintage just swung the opening punch, and they have swung it big. Powers 22 for 53 coming in on the season, 251 rushing yards. 41.8 yards per game. He threw for over 50 yards last week. Freitas, nowhere. Picks up a few yards, but this defensive line for Vintage is big. They're not a huge mismatch, but players 250, 240, they are bowling over a young offensive line for Petaluma, led by Sembita and DeCarly. Armamillo's done a good job of slotting in there. Kenny Alexander mentioned as well. They were really good last week. 400 rushing yards. Obviously, Freitas a big part of that. Slot pass tipped and incomplete. Schumacher got his hands up in that one. Looking for Pedersen in the steps. You got to try to air it out, as Vintage is keying in right now on the pass, but it's tipped and incomplete.
No way.
Third and long for the Trojans. And again, you mentioned it can't be the position that you want to be in, but if you can't even get 2-3 yards off your rushing that you rely on so much, it's going to be very hard to get into a rhythm. Havard split out to the right. He's been playing well receiving-wise. The key reception, pressure and sacked. And that was a breakdown on the offensive line. Jesus Galvin, the 5'8", 175-pound senior, brings down the sack. They look totally out of rhythm right now, Christian, this Petaluma offense. They are just haven't been allowed to even settle in.
Oh, yeah.
This pressure defense that is totally energized. 13-0.
In those situations, they have to, block.
Ayers to punt it away, and again, you got to watch the kick coverage after his block last time.
A little high snap,
and he nearly got to it again. It's a booming punt.
40 yards.
50, but there is room for a return. And the third time, all 3 times Vintage has started to drive, it's been in Petaluma territory. Camus Barrett on the return, 15 yards. Not a bad punt by Ayers, but you want that to have a little bit more hang time. So Crushers take over after the Pomey tackle, 4:30 left to go, leading 13-0. How many viewers we got, Jamie?
40.
Appreciate the 3 viewers tuning in on this Friday Night Lights game. Feel free to leave a comment in our live chat, and we'll get to it. Like this video. Check out all the other football videos. They're up until Sunday, all there. Hesitation on the read option, and taking off is Aaron. Hartman is going to drag him down at the 9, and they're going to call a horse collar on that, which will be half the distance to the goal. But Jacob Aaron showing the legs on that play. Beautiful read option, faking the toss. Petaluma defense fooled, and he takes off all the way down to the 10, and they're going to tack on some extra yards for the horse collar tackle on Hartman. Again, Petaluma coming off a 31-28 victory over Justin Siena, but this Vintage team looks like they're on a different level. Rolled over Casa Grande last week, and these teams did play not too long ago. Back in 2014 and 2015, a home-and-home. Petaluma lost at Vintage 42-0. Return trip here was 4 years ago, 2015. Petaluma also dominated, lost 48-19. Bobbled snap. Good job that time at the defensive line for the Trojans. Wrapping up, Logan Wagers.
Wagers,
thank you,
He
Christian.
will be very mad if you say that
on the
wrong.
tackle for looks.
Actually, no, yeah, let's say Wagers, please.
couple yards lost off the first and goal, and they did get 5 extra yards, again, half the distance to the goal on the horse collar tackle by Hartman. Schumacher's only got a couple carries, but this is a deep running back squad. There's plenty of running backs to go afterwards. Hatfield can go on the sweep. We've seen Weber as well. This is Hatfield indeed. Nice job again by the defensive line for Petaluma.
And Derek Comey with the tackle.
Yeah, and he looked mad there. I mean, this is not a player like Pomey, who's the captain. This is not how you want to start this football game.
Oh yeah, I think he's settling some things from the past, you know.
And now we have an injured Trojan out on the field, so trainer's out to check on that. With 3:06 left to go here in the first quarter. Not a totally packed student section for this one. It is a chilly night. Vintage really has brought the fans, and I heard some of them complaining about the traffic. Petaluma made it back-to-back weeks. It's brutal, Christian. You've been on that trip as well.
Oh yeah, I have.
It is the negative of VVAL. I mean, it is not fun on 116. But credit to the Crushers. They brought a good 200 fans or so. Trojans still down. Don't have a number on that. It's face down on the ground.
I'm going to guess.
Coming up a third and about 7.
Lewis is out.
Should be likely a defensive lineman. But good goal line stand so far early by Petaluma. If they can force Vintage to a field goal, keep that in 2-possession game, having at least a little victory could really help a lot. So when the TV is down, now they're going into the stands to watch film. I don't know if that's
yeah,
illegal.
I don't know about that.
I do think that's questionable whether you can use a fan to watch the film. But
I am 100% sure you cannot do that.
The injured Trojan is Daniel DeCarly, and that is horrible news for Petaluma. He is barely walking.
Yeah, and he got injured earlier in the season. He was like a
out.
Sprained ankle.
Yeah, he had issues with the ankle. That might be the ankle because he is not walking smoothly. That's your starting center, captain on your offensive line. And now the Trojans are going to have to bring in a young backup who's not got on playing time. By the look of it, DeCarly, who's moving at the speed of a tortoise off the field and definitely warranted after the injury, might have re-aggravated the earlier injury. He was out against Santa Rosa. It's played really well. He's a great leader. That does not look good. Trojans will get a bye week next week nonetheless. Third and goal here. Big play for the Trojan defense to try to get some confidence. Obviously not playing center here, playing defensive lineman, and a false start.
No way, Jamie.
False start.
I know,
for
but
the
still,
Crushers,
no
5
way.
yards backwards. Christian, you're talking to me and not the
I know.
director. Can't lose some focus, too, if you're Dylan Leach's Crushers with this comfortable lead early, and they crushed over Casa. They're gonna have some blowouts this year. Petaluma has the offensive fireworks with Freitas to come back. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, yeah.
You just got to get a little bit of spark, a little bit of confidence.
Yeah.
Schmeichel in the backfield, but third and goal from the 10.
See, they have the embers. They just need to light the fire, you know?
100%.
No, number 19 all the way over.
Aaron tipped, incomplete.
Great
Excellent play
block.
by Pedersen. Connor Pedersen is a terrific defensive player, and he had a terrific game last week. There is a flag on the field.
He's a monster.
I believe it was on Vintage. Yeah, illegal receiver downfield, so it's declined. We'll see what Vintage decides to do. But Pedersen, 22 tackles, leading the team in tackles. Sack, 2 tackles for loss. He's the defensive secondary captain. He's been exceptional, especially the last couple games. He's been pretty much a shutdown corner. You can't go to him. Even last week with Justin Siena and Barrett Donahoe, who had made, at the times 15 seconds before throwing, he was running all over the field trying to find wide receivers. Pedersen's wide receiver was locked down the whole game. It looks like they are going to go for it here. So big play early in this game. Fourth and goal from the 10. Aaron fakes to Schmeichel. He has a man. Touchdown Crushers. Rolling the dice was Leach, and Aaron runs it to a tee. He finds Michael Weber. His 7th touchdown already of the season, leads the team in touchdowns. That is crushing blow from the Crushers
sideline
early in this game.
Over cheering there.
A good goal line stand there by Petaluma, but Vintage is getting the football at the 30 and 40-yard line because the offense is struggling so much here early. You can't afford that. And just like that, the defense has given up 19 points. So Eddie Gonzalez on for the extra point. No, they're going to fake it. And this is a little bit of rubbing on, but the Trojans are not going to allow it.
Not happening.
That's trying to get cute there. That's good defense by the Trojans. They're staying disciplined. They're not getting frustrated so far. You have to stay in this game because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. It's like Gianni Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson's played well. He made the stop on the other two-point conversion.
Gianni Johnson, Wagers, and a third member, which I don't seem to,
Oh, we're really dark. We're going to have to fix that, but I'm Griffin Epstein.
Christian Abramo.
And we are here again live here from Ellison Field. It has been a rough start for Petaluma, trailing 19-0. Trojans kind of looking like they're being out-muscled early in this game. What do they have to do to turn this game around?
They just need some inspiration. They need to get fired up and keep their composure, like I said maybe 2 weeks ago. But
let's head back on the field.
That's ours, correct?
Yes.
That is ours. I can take care of that.
No, okay.
All right, I'm going to be back very shortly. I got you.
They are not happy with
I'm not going to be back shortly.
He's legally behind the line. So they really shouldn't be that unhappy with that.
Going back to the game. Real fun stuff. This is not good.
I don't get why he takes that football. It's just not smart. And it's exciting to see him with the ball in his hands. Maybe he's going to prove me wrong. He almost broke away there. Well, he did prove me wrong. That's in the 36. I mean, he kind of grabs that ball from behind. It's going in the end zone. I guess you need a spark right now.
Yeah, and this could very well be that. This could be what fires them up. Getting a touchdown, that's what gets you rolling, Get that adrenaline, get that head rush. You just keep going at it.
Yeah, and you do get the good field position to start here for Petaluma instead at the 35 instead of being way back at your 15. So much better special teams. Cole Powers under center here. It's Prieto in the backfield, but he's seen no action with the no-line that's been able to move nothing. Oh, it's the fake to Pedersen, and still Vintage reading it. I mean, there was no room up the middle for the fake to Prieto. There was no room on the toss to Pedersen. He loses a couple. And it's going to be second and long.
No. We did not say your name. Sorry, but that's probably a great idea.
When you say that, you want your mic off.
That is a great idea. It's off. I swear to God, it's off. The green light is not on, Griffin. Look.
Powers under center. Freitas to the left.
And off.
Fake. And a little screen. This is well set up. There's still just not a lot there. Set up those blockers. A little tunnel screen almost. It worked effectively a couple times last week. But he only picks up a couple yards. Jamie, you're not using that mic to have like a personal conversation.
Yeah, come on.
Third and long again for the Trojans. Feels like it might be go for it now here on fourth down for Petaluma.
Simone is taking care of the camera now.
High form. Fake to Pedersen. Good protection, looking downfield. Pedersen trying to draw the interference. But no call, taking a shot there.
41 seconds
Weber
left in
in
the quarter.
on the coverage. It does feel like you have to take a shot. Freitas with that speed, and he's been good receiving as well. 101 yards, 9 receptions for Petaluma. But Trojan offense still searching for their first down. Coming in, 270.2 rushing yards per game, 22 touchdowns. 320.7 yards
Big
per game.
snap here.
But so
Easy
far,
motion.
no offense at all. Ayers on for his third punt.
And boom.
Gets it away this time.
Cannon.
So
Gets the ball,
dangerously
runs through.
fielded on the bounce.
And tackled by
Brought out to about the 30. Matt Salyers in on the tackle for the Trojans special teams. I said that one wrong too?
Yes.
Sailors?
What?
So at least for the Petaluma defense, Vintage is going to start on their own territory. That's some success. At their own 30.
This one's Chris the ball. Just gonna. I just want to make sure that it's good. All right.
30, about 37, the starting time here for starting yardage for this Vintage offense. 3 touchdowns to start, and then 19 if you're just turning in is 2 missed 2-point conversions by the Crushers. Aaron running again. Look at that speed. 1 man to beat down the sideline. Touchdown, Vintage.
Ooh.
1 play.
Attempted tackle.
Goodbye.
By
Michael Weber on the Wildcat. My bad, it wasn't the quarterback. Weber's the fastest player right now out on the field. He takes the Wildcat and he takes off 1 hole. Looks similar to Garrett Freitas. No one on the field could catch him. 25-0. My goodness. And this one is ugly before the first quarter is done.
Starting to look
Gonzalez on for the extra point. If they're going to try 2 again here, I mean, I would be unhappy if you're Coach Chris. You don't want to really put it on. Boots it through, 26-0. 20.2 remaining here in the first quarter, and it's a Crushers crushing fest. And it's hard to say how much you blame on Petaluma and how much you blame on Vintage and just their skill all over the field. There are so many options. We were excited to see the battle between Freitas and Schumacher, and we barely seen Volami Schumacher. He wasn't used a massive amount last week, and so far they really haven't gone to Schumacher much. They've used Weber. They've used Aaron with his legs. They've found Hatfield. So we've seen a little of Mauricio Castro. I mean, it's been all over the board.
Surprisingly, all the players are kind of screwing around on the sideline.
It's just there's so many options on this Vintage team. It's so hard to defend when you don't know who's going to get the football, and every player has that potential.
Oh yeah.
And you can't really say that Petaluma has that. Besides Freitas, Prieto's certainly at his.
I was just about to say some of the players on the Vintage sideline are kind of screwing around. So that means
goes at the goal line to receive it. Now
backing up, great
Field.
block.
Athleticism's fun. Could have a late tackle?
No.
Good special teams by the Crushers there. Freitas is just trying to make something happen. Did get it that time, but it's risky. There's so much skill, so much depth on this Crushers team.
Yes,
you were saying that maybe they're not focused. And I mean that 26-0 lead, that's certainly something to chip away at. There's plenty of time left in this game.
I was gonna say it's leaving them kind of up in the brain. What's the term I'm thinking of? Like it's getting to their head.
Getting to their head.
That's what I meant.
Their head with the lead. No, and they blew out Costa last week. Game was done by halftime. They've played a lot with the lead. It causes you to lose it. Ball hit the ground. Freitas just kind of threw it randomly behind him, and Freitas picked it up and goes for 9 yards. Strone's 1 yard away from a first down. That might get a sarcastic cheer from this crowd, but it's not going to happen before the first quarter. We've reached the end of one. It's the Vintage Crushers 26. It's the Petaluma Trojans 0. Oh, it is on us again. We still didn't fix
I'm going to try doing the flashlight so we can see it.
That's not a good idea.
Well, so I could show our faces, maybe.
We look like vampires or something. It would be odd. Our lights did not work tonight, so we are a little bit in the dark. But I would say that this Petaluma team so far is in the dark.
Yeah. Really is.
I mean, this talent on Vintage is exceptional, and you would look at it based on who they've played. They dominated Costa last week, but this is not a Gauchos team that's played very well. They lost to Acalanes. Petaluma played Acalanes last year, was competitive. Vintage just looks way more prepared and comfortable, though, with this atmosphere.
Oh, yeah. They feel I'm thinking they feel that they have this in the bag.
No, they came in here with a level of confidence.
Exactly.
And I think for Petaluma, there was so much hype around campus. This is a big game. Vintage coming in, how are we going to do against this really superpower? Do we have a shot? There's a lot of pressure on these players. There's a lot of pressure on Coach Chris to see how this team can do. And so far, it looked early like the pressure got to them. Vintage takes that opening punch. They haven't really stepped up. The offense can't get first downs. You can't get even that rhythm, especially with Freitas.
Yes, exactly. And on that note, I'm going to bring us back to the game because they're starting their plays. Jamie.
Excellent job by the band, who's might have been able to hear it in the distance.
Should have been there for JV, but
playing
you know,
along, they do a terrific job.
They do an amazing job.
Love to hear them. Powers fakes the toss, tries to go up the middle. Not sure if he got enough for the first. We'll see where they spot it. They start the second quarter. He got nothing there. So third down. Colton Fisher in on the tackle for this Vintage roster. 42 players. They're a D1 school. They're ranked 12th in NCS Division 1, coming in with the likes of some legendary teams that are in that NCS Division 1. But both Napa and Vintage, they're big schools with potential to, I mean, or not potential, but just the talent and depth that you have can be hard to compete with for the Trojans, a D3 team. That's going to be enough for the first down. There is some clapping from the sideline. Petaluma Trojans, it took, 13 minutes, but they have a first down.
Yep. You mean 2 minutes? Or 4 minutes? Because
13 minutes. 12 minutes in the first quarter? We've got a
1
minute in. That would be 13 minutes.
Okay, I guess
Prieto
what
in
you're
on
saying.
the carry for the first, so it's progress out to the 26. But that power running game that you want to use, especially with Freitas, can help get some more space outside if you can establish it. Prieto coming in with 285 yards. It is not developed at all.
All right.
Up the middle and only a few.
I'm going to be 100% honest. I thought it was 15-minute quarters, and I forgot it's 12 because we're not in college.
We are not in college. Unfortunately, we're not, but
gone
only a short gain.
Good deal of those.
And again, Prieto, and he's the workhorse back. You have to credit him for the work that he does in the trenches. 48 carries coming into today, and 114 yards against Sal Molino. Broke out after Homie got hurt in the Terra Linda game, was kind of the featured power back. Prieto's taken over, and he's been really good. He had 28 carries against American Canyon.
Real quick, if anyone can
Screen
spot
pass to Havard. He takes off. It's a foot race. Havard down to the 35, and the Petaluma offense is in business.
Down to the 30. And just a quick little thing, I know this is kind of stupid, but I'll give $5 to anyone who can find Nick McCarthy in the stands.
Excellent
He's a cosplayer.
job by Havard to get free. This is not a game show contest.
I'm sorry. I know you didn't.
Before the broadcast, Christian, I know you're
I am a rookie. I'm sorry.
JV football game, but this isn't a contest nonetheless.
I know it is.
It is a contest in terms of the football game, and Petaluma making some progress. Havard 40 yards, and the little slant pass got free. If you can punch it in, you're back in this one. Oh, my. Pedersen eats it up. The ball came out late, but he was already down. They faked. Powers has tried the read option. Vintage is ready for every single play, and it doesn't look like Powers is looking too great himself. He's limping a little bit as well. Maybe not too healthy himself. So second and about 11 after the yard loss. It was a rough game for the JV team as well. They were out of it early as they fell short. We have a timeout for Petaluma. They fall to 3-4 under head coach Nick Emanuel. Trojans take a timeout with 2nd and 12 coming up, but the Petaluma offense is moving the football, and you have to have some balance against a defense this talented. Powers with a nice pass to Havard. Havard has been a really good part of this offense with catching the football.
Been a great part of it. And I would think that they kind of need to step up the game a little bit, but you know.
I mean, I think you need to incorporate the passing game in it, and you hope that opens up the running game, especially with Freitas.
See, now the only thing I have to fear is if Justin sees this, I'm screwed in 0 period. Never mind.
Well, we'll see how the Petaluma offense will function here. 2nd and 12 again, though. You don't want to fall behind. Mentioned it's a camo theme for this game tonight. And the student section,
Someone in a ghillie suit over
about-
there. If you
about
can.
2/3 probably full.
Oh yeah, 2/3 full, and
Yeah,
you
I
couldn't.
mean,
you couldn't tell
you
us.
got the flag out, so there's some good spirit,
Yeah.
but I think
Nah.
the team would have wished they could have filled up that student section. Screen passes
Oh,
dropped. Oh my
Homie,
goodness.
and he did not get it in his hands.
Schumacher. Yeah, that's why he's getting recruited by D1 schools.
Yeah.
Palmy is looking down at his legs, and I mean, he needs to go off
He
the
got
sideline.
he got the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, and that's one you worry about a concussion. And it's a totally legal hit by Schumacher. It's just a massive hit
Yeah.
by the 5'9", 190-pound senior that's traveled up to Oregon State over the summer for a visit with head coach Jonathan Smith and his staff. They're a college football team needing some help.
You did your research, Griffin.
Well, you know, I am a big Oregon State fan myself, so you certainly look at the players in this area that are getting recruited by the Beavs. Freitas is going to pass the football, it's dropped.
Thank God.
Oh, my goodness. Freitas
How'd you get
survives
excited?
there. Camus Barrett had that one go right through the wickets. That is the second pass attempt this year for Freitas. Petaluma likes to do that. They tried it last year at NCS. They completed it when they tried it earlier in the Santa Rosa game. But that time, Freitas threw it into quadruple coverage. It's 4th down now. You have to go for it. And the key 4th down earlier, they are not going to go for it. There's no returner back. Ayers is set up to punt. Now the Crusher drops back. I feel like you have to go for it or even kick a long field goal. Instead, the ball just goes.
Stops at the 1 yard.
Does just trickle into the end zone. Plumtree trying to save it. Nice job by Ayers trying to down it, but it goes into the end zone. I don't see what good that does. If you turn over the football, the Crushers are only 10 more yards. You're down 26 points. I do not understand that play call from Coach Chris, who was really aggressive in their play calling, their victory against Justin Siena last week, and it really worked. Went for it on 4th down twice in the 4th quarter. Could have kicked field goals on both. They didn't get it the first time, but the pass powers to Havard on 4th down salted away the game. It was aggressive and smart play calling in that one. You mystified by that play call there? Not aggressive, and Coach Chris likes to call games aggressive.
Yeah. Also, Griffin, just a little update for you. Egg Bowl for the patio.
Yes, I know. Schumacher up the middle, an 8-yard carry. Yes, I know we will not have the patio for the Egg Bowl.
Actually, we possibly could because they're auctioning it off.
I guess we could pay for our spot that we do normally get.
$100 and 1 penny.
I feel like that's slightly almost insulting in a way to us. To
ASB or to us?
I don't want to call out ASB here, and they do an excellent job.
They do an amazing job.
I'm going to be honest that I was not 100% overjoyed, and I love ASB, but I was not overjoyed that without asking, they decided they were going to auction off our broadcast booth for the Egg Bowl. But we'll be on the track. We'll be live. Don't worry, folks.
Oh, yeah.
We'll still be bringing it to you. Down the middle, open receiver.
Flash photography.
Incomplete. Michael Weber streaking through that Petaluma secondary, and Aaron finally has an incompletion tonight. This disciplined offensive option team, 7-3 last year, returned a lot of their players, and they so far have delivered 2nd and 2 from the 29, but 4 touchdowns on 4 drives. Finally, Trojan's able to get a little something going. This has been all vintage to start early in this one. 3rd and 3. Sorry, not 2nd down, 3rd down. Up the middle, they will not get there. So Vintage is going to be forced to punt. And good to see Pomey back out there. So he took that big hit on the offensive drive, but he looks all right. He makes the tackle. It was Mauricio Castro on the carry. So the Crushers will send out the punt team as he only picks up 1, 4th and 1. Good stop here by the Petaluma defense. Didn't play amazing last week, and they were a little disappointed with it. I think they're going for it on 4th down. I mean, you trust your O-line. That's why you trust your O-line. Schumacher finds a little hole, 5 yards. Vintage moves the football. It's a patient team. We've seen that tonight. They've just looked very comfortable running the whole offense. There aren't too many flaws in it.
Yeah.
It's hard to kind of know where to look if you're the defense. Your head's spinning.
Keeping your head on a swivel.
Right,
you know.
absolutely. That's what this Crushers team offers. They huddle, they go slow, they run the read option. Petaluma's seen a couple other teams like this, but they have not seen an offense that's able to function.
Running the clock and pass play.
Schumacher has Weber come in motion. I'm sorry. Aaron has Weber come in motion. And
out.
Aaron jukes past the man. It's a foot race down the sideline. Hartman will
tackle by Hartman.
Take him out, but all the way down to the 32nd. Big run for Jacob Aaron tonight. He has 3 fumbles coming in. They switched him out at quarterback in the second game of the year at Vintage. They weren't trusting him. He has played vintage football tonight, and it is crushing the Trojans. All the way down to the 20. He goes for 40 yards on that. And the Vintage offense is rolling. 6:39 left to go here in the second quarter as we've extended into darkness this final September Friday night. Crushers 3-2 on the season, ranked 326 in California. Petaluma not too far behind, but that looked deceiving tonight. Aaron again, this time he's wrapped up. Good coverage by the Trojans.
Good dive block by Logan Wagers.
Tackle.
Logan Wagers.
Yeah, you gotta keep on battling out there too if you're Petaluma. You're satisfied if you see that, I think. Trojans coming in 9th NCS Division III ranking by Max Preps, 454 in California. And the quality of the Vintage team playing them will certainly help down the road in the second half of their VVAL schedule, and it will help in those NCS playoff games. You're facing a team like Akalani's that they saw last year, and Petaluma hung around. That was a game into the fourth quarter. But they were ready. They had 2 weeks for that game. Schumacher down near the goal line, and he's down at about the 1. No, don't have a good angle. Sit down after a 5-yard gain. 2nd and 15, but unlike Eddie Birdsong, the American Canyon Star runner was totally bottled up by the Petaluma defensive line. It's been easy going for Schumacher and the entire O-line of Vintage.
Yeah.
Aaron has been at the head of the controls, the sophomore, give up the middle.
Great stop.
Pushing his way forward. It looked like there was going to be no room to go. Schumacher keeps on going. He's in. Touchdown, Vintage. Nice.
Is 7:48.
This offensive line is just bullying the Trojan defensive line, and we said that was the key coming in. This Trojan defensive line does not.
I believe they need to get lower and hit harder.
Yeah, and
they need to keep their legs moving because they just keep getting pushed back and getting pancaked. Pancaked term for falling on your back from not moving your feet.
That was a high-quality Merriam-Webster dictionary definition there.
It was.
Christian Abramo.
You're welcome.
Defensive line got beat up against Santa Rosa, giving up 42 points. Since then, they've been a lot better. Tonight has not been the case for that.
Oh, hey, we're here.
We are here. It's obviously not so far been the best night for the football team, but it's good to be back here at Ellison Field. It was hard with those 2 long road games. Just not having to be able to travel in front of these fans. The cheerleaders, the band, does make the atmosphere a lot better, I would say. Certainly adds to that pomp and circumstance with the signs and all. I was a little mystified, I would say, by the decision to go with camo tonight back on field.
Yeah.
Back on field?
Yes.
Oh, we'll get the field in just a minute. We are switching batteries. A little mystified by that camo decision. I wasn't sure. Kickoff, let's go.
Kickoff.
Well, we're just going to kind of look behind us. Freitas is going to take it at the 5.
Ripping through their special teams.
Yeah, I mean, he's hard to bring down. And
it's hard to bring down.
There's going to be a
very hard to catch up with.
Are we, Jamie?
The battery's dead.
Okay. Well, we're going to kind of just stay on us and do a radio call. We'll await the signal, but it is going to be holding. Trojans will go 10 yards back from the spot of the foul. Start at about the 20.
We have 2 minutes left on this.
5:16 remaining here in the second quarter. How do you, I mean, you were on the JV team. You got down early, but you guys kept on playing. You did score. How do you keep that fight going?
So, with our JV team, I don't really, I'm not fond of talking about it if we lose, but
yeah, but I mean, you guys, I was watching it a little. You guys were kept on fighting out there.
We try to keep the hype up. We try to, stay focused, stay composed. Some people mess around on the line, and those are the ones that are not going in. And then there's the others who are actually focused and going up to the coaches and saying, after they're calling them up, instead of having to wait 3-4 times. Oh. And also, it says we have 2 minutes left on there, so is that a bad thing, or is that, like, individual? Well, it looks like we're going to get a high-quality video of me eating Kit Kat. I'm going to turn off my mic, though, just so it makes it that much weirder.
We apologize for the camera issues, but we have resolved them. The score 33-0. Trojans couple rushes up the middle. Not a lot of room to go for Colton Prieto, Derek Pomey, and any other rushers that they put out there with this large defensive line. Returned majority of their defensive line did the Crushers. It's shown 3rd and 7 from the 16 for Petaluma. 4:04 remaining before the end of this first half. Yeah, I mean, this student section has certainly tried to hype up the energy. So I think they got a loudspeaker out there and chanting and cheering. Slant pass out wide, a late throw by Powers. It was nearly intercepted. He was looking for Robbie Izetta on the pass, the senior wide receiver, but Trojans are going to have to jog off the field another 3 and out after they did have that one drive down to the 30-yard line before an interesting decision to punt the football. Could have also sent Daxton Hoggy out to kick, and he's been excellent kicking the football. 17 for 17. PAT's 5 for 5.
Good.
One sec.
Couple 38-yard runs.
Wait.
Turned out being the difference last week.
Okay, go.
No, so good.
40, Vintage takes over, just enough time for them to add one more touchdown and just totally put this game out of reach at the end of this first half if they can tack on one more touchdown. You got to keep on battling.
Best pressure in your life.
Here at Petaluma, especially at the end of this half. Appreciate everyone joining us live, and there's been some really good close games so far for this Petaluma team. So I would advise going on the channel, checking that out, including last week's thriller over Justin Siena. Really well-played game between two disciplined, experienced teams. It was a lot of fun to be in Napa. It was homecoming. That place was rocking. And Petaluma pulled out a gutsy victory. It was a good one. Timeout, head coach Dylan Leach. He's in his 3rd year for the Crushers.
Dylan Leach
didn't like what he saw. Talked about before the game, keying in
back
on,
to us.
Keying in on Freitas. He said that worried about his speed, cutting ability, and elusiveness. And he felt like the defensive line was really good, and you can see that the Vintage has addressed that in this first half. They've abused the defensive line of Petaluma, all sorts of different formations.
They really did, and I think Coach Chris is going to be a little bit heated during the halftime break. He's going to, it's definitely not. Or, he's going to be completely normal, and he's going to tell them to keep their composure, as I've been saying for the past however long it's been. And, it's honestly, it's all up to them. They need to keep pushing through. They need to keep fighting.
Back on the field.
They need to keep doing their jobs, essentially.
And they have shut down Freitas tonight as well. They've totally keyed in on him, and Trojans have kind of tried to look elsewhere up the middle, but that's not been a viable solution.
Seems that Dan DeCarly is still out on the bench.
Ball on the ground.
Ball on the ground.
Trying to get a little cute vintage-wise, and that's the one thing they've done wrong in this one. They've had the two-point conversions that they did not convert, both, especially the second one, really trying to get cute. Petaluma was on that, and their wildcat, it looked like, with Weber again, with a man in motion. There was all sorts of miscommunication. They're going to lose 6 yards, and Nick Ayers, who's been a good linebacker defensively for Petaluma, makes the tackle. Vintage does recover the football. No turnovers so far in this game. We have another whistle. Vintage, you're just coming off that timeout. You have a bad play like that, can't be happy. There is a Trojan injured on one knee. That would be Ayers, who's struggling to come off and starts getting a little beat up. They will have the bye next week. Then they're at Sonoma Valley on the 12th. The good news is after this vintage game, every game on the rest of the schedule for Petaluma is winnable.
Oh, yeah.
At Sonoma Valley, it'd be interesting. I'll try to get you an update later in the evening on those games because the other VVAL games are pretty interesting tonight. Really interesting to see Sonoma Valley at Justin Siena.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a great game. Will not be there.
Backfield is a give to Hatfield, and Jacob Hacker coming out of the secondary to make the travel. A loss for the Crushers, and Sonoma Valley really shocked the world with the victory against Napa 2 weeks ago, and was blown out by American Canyon. It was, I don't think we've seen that. We're not sure what the real Sonoma Valley team is, which is why I was so interested to see LSU against Justin Siena. But Trojans will be tested against the Dragons. They've beat up on them late in SCL, so they certainly will be the favorites. Looking downfield, incomplete, broken up, Hammond. Good coverage there.
Looking for a flag, but it's not going to come through. I'm going to be right back, Griffin. I need a call.
See you later, Christian. Weber.
I'm going to be back in the stream.
The speedy receiver. They've looked for him early and often. I think it's going to be Christian done for our first half. Stay tuned for the halftime festivities. We're going to get the cheerleaders. They have not been able to perform in 3 weeks. They have not performed in a couple weeks. Both the last 2 games were homecoming games. Vintage in on for the punt, so they're going to fake the Schumacher downfield. It's broken up. Smart play not to intercept the football, actually. That would be lost the play. Nice job by Havard to break it up. I'm a little disappointed, though, by the way that Dylan Leach has called some of these plays. When you're up 33-0, I guess the game's not completely done, but I believe that's disrespectful. And if you're a Vintage fan, you're not going to call that disrespectful, but there's not really any reason for them to go for it on 4th down, especially do a fancy play like Schumacher, your star running back, throwing the football. Petaluma has been on those fancy plays. There'll be good field position now for the Petaluma offense. They have 2:03 to see what they can do. Weber, we mentioned him. He's 5 receptions, 129 yards. He's been a bullet on the field tonight. He looks to have similar speed to Freitas, who came in motion, then stopped and splits out the other way.
Freitas with the ball.
They just ate him up.
Just completely pummeled.
It's been good to see him healthy the last 2 games, but this is a big difference from the 247-yard game we saw last week. He was out against American Canyon. The offense really struggled, but tonight the offense
Non-stop by Drake.
Definitely struggled. 2nd and 10 from the 41. How many viewers we got, JB?
How many?
Appreciate everyone tuning in on our broadcast. Again, we got any comments in the live chat? No comments.
We got none, surprisingly.
We do have some time to address your comments, so certainly welcome, and we have laundry on the field. Saw that early with some
And there will be no comment on what happened earlier with the feed, so let's not bring that up with
really rush it down the field.
Griffin. So let's not do that.
Halftime, you don't want to miss those performances, so stay right here.
Looks like we got another BBG number 3 poster coming up to one of the football players.
Other festivities going on. I'd appreciate if you would talk English on this broadcast.
Sorry. BBG standing for baby girl.
Okay. Looking downfield, he's got Haverty over.
So close.
Excellent play design there. Hubbard was the faster receiver there. He had outrun the defensive back for the Crushers, and Powers just overshot him. They almost hit a big play there. I've done it a couple times tonight. Came close to putting a couple scores on. And you don't think they're going to get shut out. The offense hasn't been horrible. They just haven't been able to establish a run game. And if they can't, a rushing team, a team that runs the dual option, runs the triple option, can't establish a rush, can't really establish an offense.
Yep.
Just that simple. Best
good
run
play
of the day
by
Prieto picks up about 7 on the 3rd and 15. Vintage, though, is playing a pre-bunt. May as well go for it with the clock running down. Take a shot. They're not using timeouts currently. Petaluma has 2 of them. Clock down to 30 now. They're just going to run this clock down. They will have to run one more play. So you take a shot, throw it up, see if big wide receiver Jacob Havard can pull one down. They've looked for him. He's certainly been a part of the game plan. 3 catches, 66 yards. He has a capability of the big plays, averaging 22 yards per catch. Under 10 seconds, it should be the last play.
5,
the half.
4, 3,
Powers, the toss to Freitas. You want to get
Freitas,
the
come on.
field.
And that's the
half.
half.
That kind of defined that first half right there.
It really did.
And everything Petaluma's tried to do, they've taken care of.
Oh, yeah.
So 33-0 at the end of the first half. It is all Vintage at the end of one. Halftime festivities coming up in just a moment, but in a game that Coach Chris dubbed the championship game, Vintage is looking like a champion. Petaluma has not been at that level.
We're going to go back on us, or?
We will have the second half coming up. Cheerleaders are going to be heading out in just a moment, so we'll bring those to you. We'll see how Petaluma does holding up their heads in that first half. Offenses had some glimmers of hope, but so far unable to piece it together without getting Freitas involved. You kind of saw it. I mean, we'll try to get the stats for you at the start of the second half, but he has maybe 15, 20 yards. Only that one kickoff return where it's even looked like he's gotten anything going. He's been pretty much neutralized so far.
But, I mean, they've all been working hard and, getting their tackle, most of their tackles. Mind my correction, but
I mean, it's looked like Vintage has played close to a perfect game. You can't really pinpoint places where Petaluma's made mental errors, but I think line-wise, the line has not played a good game tonight. Oh, we have the Vintage cheerleader performance. Can we? Okay, we're gonna let you listen in and enjoy both cheerleaders' performances. We'll have a little bit more discussion on the first half and possibly talk about some other things going on here at Petaluma High. Here's the Vintage High School varsity cheer team.
I will do that.
really bad, but then we got this one girl who's like an ex-gymnast, so like she's pretty cool. Savannah, I like her. We used to be good friends.
Savannah who?
Angler.
I don't think I know her.
She's dating Michael Pichardo. She's the homecoming queen.
Oh. I remember fucking going off because I was upset that Grace didn't get it.
Yeah, 3 of my friends were nominated, like in the top, like. So I was like, I didn't know who to vote for between my friends. It was crazy.
I don't think I bothered voting for anyone.
Yeah, I didn't. It's not like none of my friends wanted it. They were just kind of nominated. That's cool. Yeah.
Hey guys. Hey.
We did this at our.
All right, that was your Petaluma High Varsity cheer team. We're going to have a little more talk second half. Coming up next, we'll take a quick break for just a couple minutes. Actually, we're going to listen to the band. So let's listen into the varsity marching band at Petaluma High School. They are truly terrific.
That word once.
Big money.
Griffin.
Why was our audio on stream?
Total winning. The winner is 4-3-2-4. Those are last words. 4-3-2-4. 4-3-2-4. If that's your ticket, please come to the score box to retrieve your prize.
It's fine.
You see how it sounds?
Oh my god, Griffin, they're playing your song! Ear crunch, they say. Or someone says.
Can you ask Simone to come? I need Simone to handle it.
Simone,
And now I'm going to announce the winners for the raffle of the Cornhole Beat the Champ tournament drawing for some brand new hydro class. So if you entered Final Corner, I will announce the last 3 numbers on the raffle ticket.
Excellent job by the varsity marching band. They're having some raffle going on, but I really do love that September song. If you haven't, I will not sing it, but if you do want to see yours truly singing September, you can check it out on our YouTube channel. But the varsity marching band does that better than anyone else. A lot better than my singing, I'd say that for sure. But the performance also by the varsity cheer team. Haven't seen them in 3 weeks. They had the unluckiness of being with 2 homecoming games at American Canyon and at Justin Siena, where they couldn't perform because there were so many homecoming festivities going on with the Kings and the Queens and all that being named. Actually, able to be out and performed, I think was really nice, and they were really impressive with all those flips. I mean, I'm not a cheerleading expert, but fun to see them, fun to see the vintage cheer team, and great to see the band play as well. They're gonna have plenty of playing time, I think, in the second half, and they're gonna enjoy it. They'll be at all the rest of the home football games, including the Egg Bowl. Casa will also be here at the Egg Bowl. Should be a lot of fun. The PA announcer is reminding everyone how ASB is taking Mr. Brazil's patio from us, but we will be live streaming the Egg Bowl. Speaking of the Egg Bowl, that's October 26th. It is a Saturday, 3 p.m. kick. We are going to be live. We'll be down on the track like homecoming on our platform. It's not as good of an angle, so much harder setup. The janitors are so huge, and even being able to do that, ASB can apologize to them, I guess. But we'll still be live. I'm still a little angry about it, as you can see. I'll get over it soon before the Egg Bowl. In it's about a month from 28th today, so almost a slightly less than a month away from the Egg Bowl. That's going to be a lot of fun. Simone Trenfolia is going to join me for the second half. Me and Simone have great chemistry. It should be a fun second half. Christian has departed for the night, so stick around for the second half. I promise it's going to be great. It is cooling down here. Petaluma, if you're just joining us, trailing 33-0. As we look forward to the second half, you got to keep your heads up and keep on fighting right now. If you're Petaluma, this is a good vintage team. It's a vintage team that's going to continue to try to lay it on them, too. I mean, they have continued to go for it on fourth downs. They've continued to try to get two-point conversions. It's backfired a little on the Crushers and Dylan Leach's team. But they're going to continue to try to pile up points and likely play very hard into the fourth. This is great time for those Petaluma starters against a really good team to get those reps in, have some success, and feels like to play against this high-quality team, it's going to make those games against Sonoma, Napa, and Casa in the second half of VVAL so much easier. And into NCS, it's a much weaker division this year in NCS than last year. They could be at home. Really depends on what happens in the second half of the year. Excuse me. Really depends on what happens second half of the year. I think if the Trojans win out against Sonoma, Napa, and Casa, there's a very good chance they'll be able to host. If they lose one of those games, they'll probably be on the road, but it's going to be a winnable game. They should be able to be competitive in NCS, and playing a game like this against Vintage, I think, is all the more helpful to that, and unfortunately not been competitive tonight. There was a lot of buzz around school. We mentioned it a couple times. I mean, I think it was any other game for Vintage. They just went in. It's a game on the road against another team. We're going to execute our offense. And they are working smoothly to a T. It's all working for them. You can't establish, and we talked about it, the lines. Petaluma had to win the line game. I mean, they've been decimated, the line position. Freitas hasn't gotten going, and Vintage hasn't even had to go to their star player in Schumacher. So that's really hard. Simone Trenfolia is going to join me in just a few minutes. She's surveying, trying to get over the fence, so we'll see if she's still alive when she makes it to me. But she is trying. We're a couple minutes away from the start of the second half, from Steve Ellison Field. We'll be on the road in 2 weeks when the football team is facing Sonoma. That full game on our YouTube channel. Then they're back home against the Napa I was about to say Indians. They're now the Grizzlies, recently renamed. We'll be live here on Brazil's patio for that game, and then they will take on Casa Grande. The Egg Bowl, it's a Saturday game. That will wrap up the year. Casa Grande on a bye, but right now VVAL, Vintage, they look pretty unstoppable. We'll see. They play American Canyon next week. But Trojans wouldn't really want that American Canyon game back. All those turnovers late in that second half. Statistically, it was a very even game. Trojans were only outgained by 50 yards. 2 minutes, American Canyon scored 28 points. And Petaluma was really done in the second half after that. Feels like if they play that game again, especially here at Ellison Field where they normally play better, not tonight, that things would have had a lot better chance. We have are you going to join me, Graham? Yes. Graham Cannon and friend in tow are going to add to some halftime festivities tonight. We need a little spice to add it up here. So they're gonna. Oh, we got the Ryla fam coming as well. Come on, climb the fence, guys. Come join me. What? I can't get over there. We do have a fence that obstructs our broadcast booth. It's the one disadvantage, but do want to thank Mr. Brazil. You can walk around. Yeah, follow Graham. He knows where he's going. You can walk around. We're going to get some special guests. We're also going to get Simone to join me. Again, if you missed it, this game started out. Vintage got the football, really cruised down the field, scored quickly. Trojans go 3 and out their first 4 possessions. Vintage had great field position, and it was it was really hard for Petaluma. They had one good drive. Howard with the completion decided to punt it, didn't play aggressively, and Vintage added a couple more touchdowns before the half was over. Simone's trying to figure out how to get their mic on. The students are headed out onto the field to greet Petaluma. Good, they still have that support out there for the team on camo night tonight here for the student section. It is on.
Okay.
You got Simone up?
Hello, everyone.
Simone.
Hi, Griffin.
How you doing?
You know, I'm feeling great. The game is kind of a bummer, but the spirits are up. The student section is doing great. We're keep going.
Simone, if the world was as positive as it would be a better place.
Well, thank you, Griffin. I agree.
But I do agree that the spirit has been a lot of fun tonight.
Yes.
The student section, a little smaller in number, I think, than you would have liked, but they brought the energy.
Yeah. Do you? I think the kids that came are the ones that really.
They really care.
They really care.
Yeah.
They're the reason why we have a good student section.
Can we get the camera on the students out on the field, Jamie? Maybe. We got it. We see them. Yeah, there they are lining up in their corner there. They're gonna. I love this the team running out, even when the game's obviously gone rough, to still have their back and give them the support. I mean, I think that's so nice.
It's the reason why we have a good community.
And I mean, this is a 33-0 deficit right now, but they still come out to the support.
Oh, we have the fog going and everything. Wow.
Hey, Bryce. Yes, awesome.
That's so spirited.
The Trojan head as well. The smoke adds to it with the flag. All right. We got some people here. There is no food allowed on the set, so that's one rule we have.
Should I give them the mic?
Oh, did Bryce leave?
Would you like a headset?
Hey, Graham. All right.
Just come here. Come
on, Graham.
Just sit right
Don't
here.
be shy.
Introduce yourself.
All right, we got a little bit of time left. Vintage did not get back on the field. Petaluma, a lot of energy coming out. For the second half, be interesting. But you're on live, Graham. What's going on here? Here's our freshman, pretty much the most involved freshman in the history of Petaluma High School. But go ahead.
Thank you very much. You know, I normally don't consider myself and I'm being a little egotistical here. What? Crouch? No, I'm not in the camera. This is just my voice. They're covering the field right now.
Okay, well, we're interview too. Bryce, don't worry, you're second in line.
Yeah, Bryce, get over here. Anyways, I'm here to interview my friend Andre.
Hey there, friends.
Andre, so how's freshman year?
It's going pretty good. Pretty good.
Do you have any older brothers or sisters or non-gendered names?
I have an older brother here. His name is Anthony Lima. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Anthony.
He is a junior.
A junior. You heard it first. Anthony, a junior.
Lima is his last name.
Oh yeah, and to answer Napua, the reason a lot of people don't like Trojan Live is because they have to wake up in the morning like really early. I mean, like I have 0 period. Anyways, I gotta go. Thank you very much. Follow me at Instagram.
See you later.
A lot of people like Trojan Live. It's great.
I do not like
It's fun. It's really fun.
conditions that go along with it.
All right.
Okay,
We
thank
got
you.
a second interview. Thank you, Graham, for bringing everyone over. All right, Zaria Bryce joined me at homecoming, and they'll join me again. And we have a special guest, Zaria. Would you like to introduce our special guest? Come join us on camera here, Zaria.
Here, do you want to sit?
Sure. Why is he joining me?
Bryce is with the purple hair. First, Bryce. Yeah. What caused you to make the decision, Bryce, to go with the purple hair?
Honestly, I've been wanting to do it for a long time. and I just decided to today.
Feels like senior year is the way to bring all that spirit,
My mom wanted me to do my senior photos first, and that was earlier this week. Yeah. So it was time to do it.
Yeah, you got to get the senior photos out of the way. All right. Well, who's our special guest here, Zaria?
Theodore, follow him on Instagram.
What's so special about Theodore the Duck, Zaria?
He came from Lila, and he's like, you can't hate Theodore, and he's loved by literally everyone. He's just the most amazing duck ever.
What's Theodore's power? What is his power with people? All right, Bryce, thank you so much for joining us. He's got to be back in the band, but Bryce does a terrific job in the band. Bye, Bryce. What is Theodore's power to bringing people together?
I think he just really is a good leader. That's why you should vote him for president. What year is he running? 2020. Theodore for president, because he will be a really good president.
Absolutely. And what's the Instagram handle again?
@Griffin's Duck.
Yeah, I've heard people get in trouble if they don't follow it. So you kind of got to do it.
We had like a team of it's like the duck SWAT. You don't want us to come after you.
No, you got to follow. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Zaria. She's also on the varsity swim team and a Camp Ryla member. We talked a little bit more about Ryla back at the homecoming stream. Seems like a long time ago. Back on field, please.
Yeah. I mean, I've been injured.
Both teams.
Really? Yeah. Oh my God. I literally
out there getting ready to start the second half. Trojans ran out fast. They were running sprints on the sideline. There's some energy. I think they absolutely want to get some offense going and just make a statement that they can play with vintage. So I think especially these first few minutes of this third quarter, will be very interesting to see. All right, Simone's going to rejoin me, and she's going to stick on with me for the second half. It should be a lot of fun, and certainly
I don't know anything about sports.
I'm not super cultured, but if you have a cultural question, Simone is the person to ask about that. If you have a sports question, ask me, and I'll be happy.
Why, thank you, Griffin.
Yeah, what's the big cultural news right now, Simone?
Cultural news.
Cultural news. And
I
don't mean the news that's going on in our nation's capital.
Oh, well, that's the only thing I'm concerned about at the moment.
Yes, it is getting a lot of people's attention.
Yes.
Gonzalez debuted away.
Culturally,
into the end zone.
I think nothing too big is happening at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now you're afraid to do anything to jeopardize your.
I know.
Your standing, all the eyes are on you. No matter what you're doing. It's a scary world sometimes.
Yeah, you better watch your back at everyone.
Yes, I mean, there's cameras everywhere.
There's cameras everywhere.
People make calendars. Bye, Zaria. I do want to congratulate Zaria Chamberlain for getting her boot off. That's been there for a long time.
Congratulations.
So healthy for the swim team.
Yes. Just in time.
Absolutely. So Trojan offense back to work. Powers under center. And we'll see if they can bring some energy that they look like they brought out, and they fumbled the football. Vintage looked like they recovered that. Looked like some miscommunication there. It's Crusher ball. Trojans look like they ran out with a lot of energy.
Yeah, I think.
Maybe a little too amped up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they need to try to keep their head in the game, not let the excitement get to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And you come out excited and you do something like that. I mean, it just.
Yeah.
You can't afford it.
But we don't know. Maybe the score is humbling them.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know. You never know.
You never do know.
But we do know that Vintage is getting the football in the Trojan red zone, first turnover of the game, and that's just a killer to start the half.
Yeah.
Coming in at halftime is the most vital part of a game.
Oh, wow.
Big.
Oh.
Run. Driving over people is a new running back. We haven't seen him before. Zivkovic, junior, 45 yards coming in, but Vintage is getting some more players, some looks.
Wow.
Vintage is going to go to 2-0 in VVAL. American Canyon again playing tonight. Also undefeated. They play next week. Could decide who takes on the league pennant. Trojans were hoping to make a case for that, but they have not proved it tonight.
I know many of the...
Vintage.
Yes, this league is definitely a bigger challenge for Petaluma compared to last year. But I think challenges are good, don't you?
Absolutely. Tommy Gisletta in on the touchdown run, running right, and takes it in for the 10-yard touchdown run. It's 39-0, and Vintage quickly putting a stamp on this first half, and they came out with the energy that you want to see from Dylan Leach, not putting their head down. We knew they would continue to battle. Extra point by Gonzalez. Booted them
Oh.
So a 40-point lead for the Crushers. They have dominated.
It's great seeing all the camo out there. I can barely see the student section.
Yeah, we're far away here on Brazil's patio, but they're still
No.
hanging around. They were cheering a little in the
Griffin, it is a joke. Camo, can't see them. Get it?
Well, sometimes on those jokes. That was good. I did make a joke in the first half. If everyone missed it, I said that the team in maroon and gold, they were playing vintage football and really crushing the Trojans.
Funny. That's a good one.
It certainly,
Quick wit.
They adhere to puns, both their names, and if you're wondering what in the world is a Crusher, why is that a league mascot, it might seem strange as the kickoff is going to bounce to Freitas here. Oh, he's dangerous. He's taken one out to the 30.
Oh, wow.
This time he goes nowhere, wrapped up at the 25. But a Crusher is someone who crushes grapes, so that is the actual mascot. And the logo is, if you've ever been to Napa, right over you go over the big bridge into Napa, they have this little statue of a man, like, I don't know
crushing
what you call
grapes?
that. Yeah, I mean, he's crushing grapes. And that's they have that statue in
Yeah.
of their high school as well. So
That's quite good.
it's interesting. It's certainly a creative name, if nothing else.
Wait.
Powers under pressure, and he just throws that one away. Smart play by the senior quarterback.
Wait, is it crush or crunch?
They're the Crushers. They do not crunch.
Oh, crunch.
Yes, I don't think anyone from CIA is watching, but I know that's funny. 21-7 is the score from American Canyon. The Wolves took an early 14-0 lead against the winless Napa team, so they're off to a good start. Be interested to see if the Wolves can keep things going beyond a young team there, American Canyon. Also a lot of players, but they're used to winning football games. There's a lot of teams in this league, and what makes it hard. And
Right.
Huge hit. Picks up a couple yards on the second down, but it will make it a third down and long.
The vintage team is very riled up. We are right behind them.
They came in with a level of confidence.
Yes.
In this game, I think that was so important.
They're very, very spirited and supportive of their other teammates.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can tell.
They have something we noticed right away. They actually have a TV right down there that they can actually watch film on.
Yes, when I was up filming on our podium, I met the kids that are doing that.
Yep,
they have quite the setup. They know what they're doing.
They're feeding in right and live. I mean, it's remarkable. So Trojans tried a little sweep to Freitas, and you know it. Freitas is the star. He's the man on campus.
He is. All last year, all I heard was Garrett Freitas. He was doing great. He is doing great.
That's what we've heard coming in. 625 yards, 56 carries, 125 yards per game, 11.2 yards per rush, 6 touchdowns, 101 yards catching. On kick returns, 224 yards coming in, averaging 25 yards on there. 78-yard kickoff return against Dumbelino. I can go
I mean, it just keeps
all night,
going. It's quite the record.
But you know how good a vintage team is when they totally shut him down.
Yeah, because it's hard to sometimes. I've seen games where people can't get past him. He just keeps running and get those touchdowns. I think Vintage's defense is the next level.
Absolutely, and they will, we mentioned it, take on American Canyon next week, and then their schedule turns pretty easy at Justin Siena, home against Sonoma Valley, home against Napa. So they can beat American Canyon next week. They're going to be hosting a league pennant. I will almost guarantee it.
Yeah.
And when that one, Crushers take back on offense. Again, good field position for them. Petaluma, you hope, can show a little bit more fight here in the second half.
Oh.
Good late toss.
Come on.
And a beautiful juke step before going out of bounds. It's an excellent job by this deep rushing attack. Mauricio Castro, we saw him on the first carry, barely seen him before, but there's a lot of depth. They will move the sticks for the first down. 9:29 left in the third.
Thank you. Yes, it's quite cold out here.
Trojans are going to suffer. This is an interesting stat. Their first home loss, and now obviously they were on the road last year all season long, or home games that cost them, but they have not lost a official home game in over 2 years.
Wow, that's probably a very big disappointment, but
I mean, it's a testament to how hard it's been to play here. Zivkovic, goes for 5 yards on the first down. It's hard to play, spirits brought, but when there's a disparity in the playing style, we knew VVAL would be especially hard for the football team.
They're still a very, very good team. It's just when you're up against harder teams, you are going to have more disappointments, but that's how you get better.
Absolutely. Zivkovic with about a couple yards. It brings up a 3rd and short for the Crushers. And a tired defensive line. We haven't seen Gano to Carly. Again, they get a bye to rest next week, but to Carly looked like he could be seriously hurt.
I know.
Obviously be unfortunate. It took a long time for him to get off the field.
Yes.
Got to hear the band and the cheerleaders. They were both of them. They were really terrific, weren't they, Simone?
Yes. I went over and talked to the band members a little bit. Their spirits were high. They are quite impressive. And I keep saying quite, and I need to stop.
You know, sometimes there's words that I think you like. Havard has played well defensively tonight. He's really played well defensively of late. He makes the stop, and Vintage finally seems to succumb that they might actually win this game. They have been ridiculously aggressive out there, going for it on 4th downs, 2-point conversions, up 40 points. You're going to have a running clock now the rest of this game. They'll send Gonzalez out for the field goal. Havard is someone that definitely a pinpoint improvement for the Trojans. 8 tackles, 3 fumble recoveries. Gonzalez boots through a nice boot. That's 48 yards. Gonzalez looking good. 8 tackles, 3 assisted, 1 fumble recovery, 3 tackles for loss, 2 passes defended. He's been good for the Trojans defensively, but the lead 43-0 as Vintage keeps it going with this talented deep squad. And Simone, you're a senior as well. You're very, very involved here on campus. What are some of the other things that you work on out there?
Well, Griffin, you know this very well.
Do I really?
We are both in our school's JSA club. JSA is a debate/activism. It's all about civil discourse and getting kids involved in the current political climate. It is a great club. You'll probably hear me and Griffin rambling on about it on campus, trying to get more kids to join.
Definitely been done that a couple times.
Yes, but that is a main focus for me at school. I also
kickoff will go for a touchback.
am a student.
You're a student?
Yes, I am.
Unique, similar to, I believe, another 1,400 people here.
I know, I'm so unique.
You truly are.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Griffin, you know this. College apps are going on right now.
Let's not talk about that.
Okay, quite stressful. Quite, there we are again.
No, the school certainly does a terrific job preparing all of the students for college. I mean, do want to give them credit on that.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of college, we're going to see a couple of these vintage players. The college, it'll be interesting to see if we see Garrett Freitas play at the next level.
I know people have come and speculated, and I know he has eyes on him.
He does, and he's been very, I've heard some things, I'm not even allowed to discuss everything. It's very, very close what he wants to do with his
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Prieto with 4 yards on the carry. It's been a tough night for him. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 6. Dominic Smith on the tackle, approaching the halfway point of this third quarter. I know there's a lot of clubs on campus. Is JSA the largest one, Simone?
I think it is, and it is also entirely student-run.
That's crazy.
I know. We are currently preparing for Fall State. It's in San Jose, and it's going to be a fun time.
Oh, yeah.
So,
beautiful hotel, I've heard.
Oh, fabulous hotel. Many of our members are so excited to see their other friends from different schools.
I love that. And you know, they as we see the completion to Daxton Hagia for 10 yards, Power's second completion of the game for the first down. First down of the third quarter. You know what's so special at this hotel? They have a sushi bar.
A sushi bar?
In the hotel.
I will spend all my money there. I already know that.
It's dropped by Pedersen, second down.
And is it true that we're going to have a live band at the night dance party?
The rumors are true. I'd like to confirm them right here and now. There is going to be a live band at JSA.
Wow. If you're watching this at home, make sure to come to Fall State.
If you're a student sitting at home right now at Petaluma High School, like, you need to turn in your Fall State packet.
Sushi bar and live band? I don't know of a better combination.
I don't either.
Not only that, but discussing current political events and talking about the things you're passionate and interested about.
500 of your closest friends?
I can't think of a better thing.
I mean, I want to run down to San Jose right now.
I know. I am so excited. It is November 17th to 18th.
Speaking of running, Powers goes for a 5-yard jaunt before being stood up by the Vintage defense. 3rd and 6 from the 39. Yeah, packets are due next week. You can stop by A5, pick up a packet, turn in your packet. There's scholarships available. It's affordable. There's debates, sign-ups open on October.
It's really only pros. If you were to make a pro and con list, it's only pros.
No, there is no con.
There are no cons.
I mean, you could say, you know, I wish I was doing something else on your weekend, but you really wouldn't be. Powers on his back foot floats a screen pass to Freitas, but he threw it at his feet. He was under pressure, a little frustrated. Brings up a 4th down, and the Trojans will punt the football away. 6:26 remaining in the third. They trail 43-0. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could argue I'd rather do something else with my weekend, but then you go. That is the thing that you should do with your weekend.
And I think the only con is that there aren't more of them.
Yeah, you're right.
I think that's what I'd like to spend every single weekend doing.
I would too. It would make my weekend a lot better, you know? It's like...
Yeah.
It's spectacular. It's unlike anything else. The snap of punt goes over Powers' head. Wise play by Powers. He picks it up and boots the punt back down. So the Trojans don't lose yardage. Not sure why Powers was punting, though Ayers did have to get walked off the field, so he might still be hurt. You don't want to sacrifice anyone.
No.
Although they do have a bye next week. Vintage takes over. Excuse me, God. Vintage takes over at the 40, 6:20 remaining. Yeah, it's truly one of a kind, isn't it?
Yes.
Do we have any of CIA tuned in right now?
I don't believe so. I don't think they understand what's going on.
I think that'd be a good idea.
I think it would. Should I text Brian Green?
Yes, you should text
Brian Green is the head of CAA.
And if you don't know, I know CIA sounds very fancy, and it is. JSA is student-run, so it includes departments. I mean, it's a very fancy play. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
He is just running over people. My God. Hedja Zivkovic, as hard as his name to say, as hard as he is to tackle, he just trucked 5 Trojan defenders for a first down and electrifying the Vintage crowd, who has plenty to cheer about, but is probably getting a little sleepy, and they have a long hour drive back. But my goodness, what a run there for the first down. Pomey finally bringing him down.
The CAA has been notified.
Vintage moves into Trojan territory. And there he goes again.
Wow.
Hedja Zivkovic, he's a 5'7", 175-pound junior. He's about 5th on the running back list. He's making his name known. Into the end zone, touchdown Crushers. No answer towards this Petaluma defense. Keeps the energy going on the Vintage
yes.
line. This O-line could build mountains tonight the way they've played. They're big, they're mean, they're hungry, and they've remained hungry.
They've kept their aggressive streak throughout the entire night, and that's why they're doing so well.
Absolutely, and an extra point. They're going to put 50 up on the board, and it's been a while since the Trojans are going to beat this badly.
Yes.
Vintage 144-0 last week. They have played even more of a perfect game here tonight against the Trojans.
Wow.
Extra point booted through. It is a very even 50-0 with 5:46 left in the third.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're Simone.
Wow. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, well, we haven't introduced ourselves. I'm Griffin Epstein.
I'm Simone Trinfolia. We are both members of our school's TV broadcasting program.
And JSA, what a coincidence.
Wow.
Yeah, we're both students here.
That's crazy.
We're
pretty involved in school.
I would say it's really vital to get involved, and as seniors who've been through it all,
Yes.
get involved in those extracurriculars, because
oh my gosh,
your high school experience can just be, showing up to school and going home and
doing
what, but I don't know what people do that, but
getting involved. I've made so many friends that I never thought I would ever be friends with, and you meet great people with similar interests. It's great.
It's one of a kind.
Yes, if any freshmen are watching, just sign up for everything you can.
I mean, there's a reason they say small school atmosphere, large school opportunities.
Exactly.
Want to thank Bo Miller, who's been running some camera tonight. Simone was running it earlier. Jamie Cantieri is directing. The ball looked like it might roll out of bounds, but Gianni Johnson had to pick it up because it was slowly whimpering towards the sideline. The Crushers nearly picked it up and could have ran that in for a touchdown. Trojans will take over possession. 5:44 remaining in the third. Comments are totally welcome by anyone tuning in. Jamie, we got any comments on the live chat? Oh, it looks like we do. Kate.
Kate. Crunch, crunch.
Tuning in. Anyone else?
Crunch, crunch.
Yeah, I want to appreciate Kate McLaughlin tuning in. Russell Kazmarak has tuned in. Is 50-0 if you still don't know the score. It's in the top left-hand corner. And
Griffin.
5:44 left to go. You're in the third quarter. It's been all vintage.
Crunch, crunch.
Garrett Freitas on the jaunt. 9-yard pickup. One of his best runs in the night. He's been shut down, as we mentioned.
Did you see that one slam towards right before? Never mind.
Freitas has been shut down tonight. I think there might be a flag too, so they might call this back. But we thought it could be a battle between him and Schumacher, star versus star.
I have a clarification. When they throw a flag on, do you call that there's laundry on the field?
It's technically a flag.
But the saying
can certainly be laundry. It could be. It could be a variety of things that you could say.
Right.
Flag being thrown on the field. We're having a long discussion between our referee, who's been active tonight with penalties, and head coach Rick Chris, who cannot be happy how this one is going tonight, even though he's done a terrific job. Took over from Steve Ellison in 2010. And he's gone 48-34. He went 29-18 in FCL.
Wow.
Ninth season.
That's
coming off two of his best years in 2017 and 2015, with Trojans going to the quarterfinals of NCS back in 2015, and last year's team 8-2, the best record he's ever had. Unsportsmanlike is the call, so Petaluma is going to get an automatic first down. 5:23 remaining in the third.
okay.
Move forward. I'm sorry, holding on unsportsmanlike. So defensive holding, a rare call that you see, but they'll move it forward. You bought something for me.
I did buy something for you. Would you like it?
What do we got?
Well, Bo Miller actually bought it for you. It's Crunch. It's a candy.
Powers tries to take it himself, and he is blown up. You do not want to see a hit like that to your starting quarterback late in this game. But they take the fake, and he takes a hard hit from Bryce Ead, 5'11" junior. Second and long for the Trojans. Starters remained in there. Mentioned it during the halftime. You want to get that experience against this good team and continue to get some reps, continue to have some success as Powers does there. Breaks the tackle. And he's going to have just enough for the first down right in front of the student section.
And the student section is cheering them on. They're not letting this score affect their spirit.
No, you can't. So they will move the sticks out to the 47. While we will be off with no football next week, I'm really excited for on Wednesday. I am going to go to my first ever golf match.
Oh my gosh. Wasn't Trojan Live talking about doing that last year?
No, we weren't.
Oh.
But now we're doing it.
Wow. Are you going to get a golf cart and just follow them around?
I anticipate using my own legs, but...
Oh. How are you going to keep up?
Well, you know, I mean, they hit the ball, and then you walk with them.
That is true.
I'm not exactly sure how it's going to go. I mean, it's Rooster on a beautiful golf course, but definitely hoping to catch some glimpses of Lily Catarazzoli on the course. She's a golfing legend here at Petaluma High School, and
yes,
being just able to see her on the course, I really wanted to bring that to the student body before she leaves, and I think she deserves that recognition.
She does. From a personal standpoint, Lily Catarazzoli is my close friend, and she is determined.
Oh my, powers fakes, nice job by Freitas. That was not Freitas, that was Butts to dive on it and avoid the loss, but Powers laid down for about a couple seconds with his arms sprawling, and that was a good picture of the game tonight. Anyways, I'm sorry. Go on,
that was a good picture of the score tonight. She is passionate and she is determined. She deserves a lot of recognition of the win she's brought our school.
Absolutely. Yeah, and the girls team undefeated, 7-0. We're talking about how hard this new league, the VVAL, is. The golf team, they've already beaten everyone in VVAL. We'll see. They play Napa next week. That's the game I'm going to. They are the second best team in the league. That is going to decide if the Trojans win that. They're almost certainly going to win the league title. That's going to be the difference.
Definitely.
Over the middle, Pedersen's got it and holds on. It's going to be a first down. He's winding and turning and carrying tacklers with him. It's about a 20-yard pass. Powers to Pedersen. Powers is
he was pulling
limping,
defenders around like a windmill.
Yeah, and he's a little guy, but he has great strength. He's finished 4th in NCS in wrestling in his weight class last year. Pedersen has lots of fire. He's fun to see.
Yes.
Do have an update on the score for you with Sonoma Valley and Justin Siena. And Sonoma Valley is leading Justin Siena 6-0. That's an interesting one. Justin Siena still looking for their first win in VVAL. And it'll be interesting to see if the Dragons bounce back, get a victory. Powers has gone an open man out wide, and that's another first down. There's a little rhythm for Cole Powers. That's good news.
What?
Ryan Sullivan, his 3rd catch of the season.
What?
2 catches, 18 yards coming in on the day.
Love you. Are you okay? If you need a ride or anything, let me know.
Under a minute left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Keep those comments going on the live chat. Try to get them again. You can like this video, subscribe to the channel. Whenever we go live, any football game, any other coverage, we will have it.
Okay.
You'll get an email to your box.
I'll text
over
you
the
later
middle,
if you need anything.
diving towards the end zone. He's stopped just short. It's taken 3 quarters, but Powers has finally gone into a terrific rhythm right now.
Wow.
1st and goal. And if you are a high school football fan in Sonoma County, fascinating developments out of Santa Rosa, Simone. Cardinal Newman Rancho Cotati game of the year in Sonoma County. It is all Newman tonight, 42-7. They are destroying Rancho. So that's an interesting one. But
my mom is feeling it. She's a teacher at Rancho.
Well, she's can't be happy with the Cougars.
No, she's not. I mean, obviously very supportive. She loves that school. She's been working there for 20 years.
Well, we've reached the end of the 3rd quarter. Trojans get it down to the 1, then a false start there. But they'll see if they can get some points in the 4th quarter. You really don't want that shutout. I think that's a big part of it to make sure that you can get this off the board. Casa was shut out by, excuse me, that was the crunch. Casa was shut out last week by Vintage, and that was huge for Vintage. Each player gets a cookie after their victory on Victory Monday.
Are you kidding
They
me?
got 2 cookies because of their shutout. Petaluma wants to make sure not to give Vintage 2 cookies, only 1 cookie for them.
Only 1 cookie. We cannot give them 2
That'd
cookies.
be a little too much crunch in the cookie.
That'd be too much crunch.
Yeah, we
Too
have
much
the
crunch.
band playing behind us. They're playing Big C. They there.